Yep, Chris Smith here with another video on photography techniques. This one's about curves. I'm using it as an introduction because I've got another video coming up which will show you how to use curves selectively to really beef up a poor image. This image here is of Robin Hood. It's outside Nottingham Castle in Nottingham, and I'm going to use it because it's a little bit bland to say the least, but just an introduction to curves. Well, I'll use this picture. Curves is a Photoshop tool that lets you do everything you want to do to an image, apart from layer effects. You can do all your colour and contrast adjustments with curves. Although curves is a quick and efficient technique to use, it can be rather confusing if you're not sure what to do. This is why people new to Photoshop tend to avoid using the curves tool and stick to levels, which is a lot easier to use. Anyway, I'm going to describe the basics of the curves tool. You'll find a curves tool under image adjustments, curves. Here we go, there it is. It's basically a graph with a black point here at the bottom and a white point at the top. Now this is Photoshop CS5 and it's got these little bit of something you haven't got in the other editions. You see this one here, it says histogram. Now it actually shows you the histogram as it does in levels for this photograph, so you can see there's the white point on a histogram, there's the black point. You'll see that with this curves tool we've got a black point there already, so it's not, you don't have to mess about with that, do we? But the white point is here, so if you watch this, I'll just move this to one side, there we go, so you can see the picture. If I move the white point slider, there you go, look, there, it's just brightened it up, and now we've got a spread from 0 to 255, so it's already made the contrast better, hasn't it? If you look at these options here, I wouldn't bother using auto because it's just like a best guess, and software doesn't do a good job at guessing best. And the auto options are these things. I don't even bother with these things, so cancel it. I just don't even bother with them. Like I said, this was the histogram. You can click it off and on, and well, we don't need to look at this. It's a bit. This is what we're looking at. These curves. We've got eyedroppers. Now these do the same thing, but if you watch this, I'll move this back to here. It's gone dark again. Here's the white point. Right. So if you can find a white point, bing. That tells you that. I don't like using eyedroppers, so, and also you can do black points, and yeah, it's gone all blue. This is why I don't like using eyedroppers. You can use a grey, and there's a grey point there. It's warmed it up a little bit, but you don't have much control with these eyedroppers. I mean, I don't bother with it, so we'll cancel it. There we go, back to where we were. Image adjustments, curves again. Come on, let's get back to this one. Right, this is what we can do with the curves tool. I shan't put that histogram back on there because it can be a bit confusing, but basically if you can select a point on the curves line, and then if you just left click with your mouse, you can drag up or down. Oh, you see what it's doing? Unlike levels, curves is a very delicate and sensitive tool, so whereas in levels you will be able to move the sliders up and down a good distance, with the curves, if you just move it a little bit, that's all you need. It's a very, very sensitive tool, you know, to dark and to light, and then if you go too far it goes whoa like that, and if you go that, it's ridiculous, that, isn't it? So it's a very, 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 very sensitive tool. The steeper the curve, the greater the contrast, and if you go too far that way, it's not very good, is it, that one? Right, so, and also if you make a mistake, say you go that you don't want it, to get rid of it, to reset, to just drag it off like that. Hey, watch it again. Just drag it up. Oh, look at that. So you can start all over again. Right. The beauty about the curves tool is that you can have 14 points, up to 14 points along the line, and you can move them around. Whereas on levels you've only got 3. You got the central mid-tone points, and you got the black and white points. But there you can pick and choose, and you can do all sorts. I'll just get rid of all these. Notice how I'm getting rid of these. It's not easy to. And there's another way to do it, but I'll just do it this way. Right, so if you bring this line up like that, you lose a lot of colour, and a horizontal one will give you pure grey. Right? So if you bring them back like that, and then if you bring this one across to here and move this one, so you got a very, very steep curve. Look at that. Oof. Artistic effects, fair enough, but it just shows you that the steeper the curve, the greater the contrast between black and white. So that's basically all you have to do. And so one very good way to beef the contrast up of any images using curves is to create an S-shaped curve. And you've got your 1/4 point, 3/4 point markers here. To make an S shape, you just do that. Oh, there we go. And that's basically all I use curves for anyway, most of the time, is to beef up the contrast like this, for most of the time. You get rid of those, I'll just show you the presets, what we've got. You know, here, presets, custom. Colour negatives, cross process, darker, increased contrast, lighter, and go on. Look at darker, see? You don't have to do things yourself if you've got these presets. You can just make it a bit darker or lighter. Yeah, it goes the other way. See, it's only a small touch, it goes lighter. Let's have a look at medium contrast. You'll see there's a slight S curve, medium contrast, and if you get a strong contrast, there's the bigger S-shaped curve. Linear contrast, that's very, very shallow S-shaped curve. Colour negatives, well, that's something that's straightforward, isn't it? As your colour negative. Some people like pictures like that. I don't know why, but a cross process comes out all nice and cyan and green for some reason. And there's the negative. Right, that's as you will get it on film camera. Right, negative of that picture. So go back to your develop, which is yours, and if you select a curve that you like on a particular photograph, say something like that, you like it and you want to keep that as a preset. See this little tool up here? You got to click it. It doesn't tell you what it is, but here we are. Save your preset, and then you can press save, type in the name of it, and it'll go into your preset folder. Well, we're not going to bother with that for the time being. So basically that's all that curves is, and in the next video I'm going to show you how to use curves to selectively lighten and darken different parts of an image, so you get a lovely composite, and you have more controls on controlling your picture than you do in levels. So until then, this is Chris Smith saying goodbye.